Hey everyone, I'm Chef Lee here in the American Range Kitchen. Today we are talking steak. We're gonna grill a flank steak, we're gonna roast a cauliflower steak, there's gonna be a tomato steak as a garnish there. It's all super flavorful, super colorful. Let's get going. So we have a few things happening here in this dish. We're gonna start with our cauliflower, and what I wanna create is a cauliflower steak. So we're looking at a thick slice of cauliflower that will keep the root of the cauliflower intact, and that's gonna hold it nice and firm as a one-piece steak, uniform. And the way I wanna do this, I'm gonna go and cut through the cauliflower, keeping the root intact. So I'm looking just slightly off the middle of the cauliflower, slice down, and then another one, and maybe like an inch to an inch and a half thickness. And that's my cauliflower steak. I'm gonna do one more, so we're gonna do 2 steaks here. So the rest of the cauliflower here is obviously not gonna go to waste. Keep this, and we're gonna use it in a different recipe. So a nice drizzle of oil on there, on both sides, and a season of salt. What I wanna make sure is that the entire surface of the cauliflower is coated in the oil, so there's no burning and there's actually good browning when I put it in the pan. Our pan is nice and hot. I'm gonna go in with a little extra oil, and our cauliflower steaks go in. Just move them around just a little bit to prevent sticking. Then they can sit there for a few minutes, getting nice and brown. So obviously the cauliflower is not gonna get fully tender, fully cooked in the pan. That's why we're finishing it in the oven. As that is working, I'm gonna keep an eye on it, and I'm gonna start working on our salsa. That's gonna go on top of our steaks. And this is a classic Argentinian salsa with the fun name of chimichurri, which is a combination of herbs, some garlic, a little bit of spice, a little bit of vinegar, and some olive oil. So we have some cilantro here, we have parsley, we have some fresh oregano. Now this is a cool thing to notice, is the difference between parsley and cilantro. So many people get them mixed up. So first of all, the smell is undeniable. Cilantro has such a powerful kind of soapy smell that you either love or you absolutely hate. Parsley, less of a smell, but what you see is the difference in the leaves. The leaf of the cilantro has more of a round shape. The parsley is more pointy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna check on my cauliflower here. I think I'm gonna get some nice color on one side. Yep. That's the color that I'm looking for, so it's a nice brown. And that just gets that caramelization going, gets super flavorful. I'm gonna lower the heat just a little bit, so I'm seeing a little too much smoke. So it's super nice with the American Range stove where you can get that full control of the level of the heat that you're looking for. In the meantime, let's chop some herbs. So the oregano, I'm just pulling off the stem. Just like that, hold it, pull it against the way that it's growing, and then it'll just pull right off. Okay, so that's good on the oregano. I'm gonna grab a nice handful of the cilantro, another handful of the parsley. Those are my herbs. Our cauliflower is ready to come out. I'm gonna transfer here to a sheet pan lined with some foil. And all this is gonna go into the oven for about 10 minutes just to get fully cooked and tenderized. Keep working on our salsa here. So all the herbs, I'm gonna give them a nice chop. And I wanna get a pretty fine chop here, which basically means that the herbs are gonna be dispersed in the salsa evenly. Okay, that's good. So that's gonna go into our bowl. So that's our herb part of the salsa. We're gonna get some red onion. And I just wanna create some fine dice on the red onion. And then basically the reason I want everything pretty finely diced is that with each teaspoon of the salsa, you're gonna get a kind of an even distribution of the flavors. So some finely diced onion, that goes in. About 2 cloves of garlic. They're also gonna get finely chopped. So again, a fine mince on the garlic. That's gonna go into our salsa. All right. Olive oil. Just a little bit of red wine vinegar. And already we're seeing the color here is absolutely beautiful. This vibrant green, little specks of that red and white from the onion. Smells good. You get that pungency from the garlic and from the vinegar. Set that to the side. Let's check on our cauliflower. And what I want to do here is basically check the root for its doneness. I'm checking with my knife here, and I see that it's fully tender. The root is fully cooked, and that's the part that's hardest, so it's gonna take the longest to cook. So if the root is cooked, that means that the rest of the cauliflower is cooked. That is ready. I'm gonna set it to the side and move on to my steak. Our steak has been marinating here for a couple hours, and what I put in here is some garlic, some oregano that is also in the salsa, so that kind of ties it back into it. I have some garlic, I have some chili flakes, some oil, and that's all there is to it. You scrape off all the kind of flavoring agents from the marinade. I'm gonna get in with a little bit of salt just to finish the seasoning here. Well, let's get it on the grill. So we're basically looking at 2 or 3 minutes on each side. We're gonna get a nice char on the outside. Inside is hopefully gonna still stay right about medium. So the final component for our dish is a nice steak of tomato, and I have a beautiful heirloom tomato here, 2 different colors. I'm just gonna add a thick slice of the tomato to our dish, and it's gonna be kind of that fresh component that we crave so much. It's gonna work well with the salsa as well. A couple slices. The tomatoes inherently have so much flavor in them, so I'm not gonna use anything other than salt just to season them, and they're gonna sit on the plate just like that. And as we always do, we want to create those kind of diamond shapes. So as the grill goes like this, I'm going to give the steak a nice 45-degree turn. So already it's smelling amazing in here. It's absolutely great, that kind of grilled, charred meat smell that we're getting. We're ready to flip. We're going to give this another 2 or 3 minutes on this side, and then let it rest a little bit before we slice it. So be super patient when you're grilling anything on the grill. Basically, when you really want to get color on it, don't mess around with it. Minimum movement on the grill is going to ensure really nice coloring and really nice flavoring. Super, super crucial here. Do not touch the steak. Let it rest. If you slice into it right now, all the juices are going to go all over your board. You're going to be left with a very thick and kind of chewy and hard piece of meat. Right now, what you want to do is let it rest. Let all the juices kind of find its place back into the steak. 5-10 minutes, and you're good to go. We are ready to plate, and what we're going to start with is our cauliflower. So the piece of cauliflower is going to go straight in the middle, and we're going to get our tomatoes. And like we said, the tomatoes, all they really need is just a little hit of salt. I'm going to line those up just like that. We have our base, and let's slice our steak. So we have our steak, and you can see this very well with flank steak. You see the fibers going in one single direction, and you see them going kind of like that. And what you want to do when you're slicing a piece of meat is going against the grain, so you're basically shortening those fibers. It's basically another technique of tenderizing the meat. Once it goes in and you chew it, it becomes much more tender. So as the fibers are going this direction, I'm going to work with my knife in this direction, shortening those fibers. That's good for my portion. I'm going to get some of the salsa, some of the chimichurri, on top of the tomato and a cauliflower, which is basically going to season the steak from the bottom once we put it on there. And this stuff really, you can't have enough. More is always better. So we have our nice presentation. Some more salsa goes on top. And there it is. So it's a grilled flank steak, grilled cauliflower, and tomato. Great flavor combination, and really each and every one of these components can stand on their own as a focus for the dish. For here, the great combination of all three is a winner every time. I'm Chef Lee here in the American Range Kitchen. Thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one. My lunch break. I'll see you later.